Hi, I'm Diarmuid Gavin, and this is my Outer Spaces plant range with Dunnes Stores. If you're a beginner, I think one of the easiest plants to start with is this. It's a Bromeliad, and it provides lots of interest. It has beautiful foliage. Really, this one has stripes going up it, and then it has these kind of modified leaves or bracts, and it's really easy because it lasts kind of a long time. You get that colour for a very long time. You water straight into the little urns that are at the very centre of the plant, and if you can use rainwater, it's even better. So that a plant like that for your kitchen or bathroom, it'll provide endless pleasure. It's really gorgeous. The most common mistakes that people make when they're caring for houseplants are overwatering, underwatering, or putting a plant in the wrong place, a place that it won't really like in your home. So it's really important to get the watering right. Never leave a plant sit in water. That's the most important thing. So when you water, make sure the water drains through. Generally during the growing season, once every 5 to 7 days is a good tip for watering, but put your finger into the compost, just a little bit, past the surface. And if it's dry past that, or if the plant feels very light, that's when it needs watering. So how do you know if a plant is getting too much water or too little water? First of all, it's observing the plant. If it's beginning to flop, you might think it hasn't got enough water, but if you lift it and if the soil is soggy and it feels heavy, that's too much water. So just watch what your plant is doing. If it is yellowing on the leaf, that might be a sign of overwatering, or if there's little bits going brown, that might be underwatering. A really great tip though, if you can, use rainwater for your plants. They absolutely love that. The best way to keep plants happy in the different seasons is really to observe what's going on. In winter, they're going to be in their kind of dormant season. There's not a huge amount of growth going on. And also light levels are low. So move them closer to a bright window, mind you, not for most in direct sunlight. Don't water them so much and don't feed them during the winter. In spring, start feeding again. So from about April, from around now, give them maybe every 10 days some really good nutritious plant food. Indoor plants can create really wonderful decor in your home, but it's important to know a little bit about the plant so that you understand what's the right plant for the right space. Say a terrarium like this, a little bottle garden. That's wonderful, but it doesn't want to be in direct sunlight. So it won't do great in a very, very bright room. So some of the darker foliage plants may be for that, whereas the bromeliads or the orchids, they want a really steamy environment. So the kitchen, the bathroom, the shower room, something like that. You're trying to recreate the experience that they get in the wild. So what's it going to be like in a jungle? For orchids, really steamy. My top 3 tips to allow your houseplants to thrive would be, if you're in the middle of the growing season, give it some food. This is a tomato food, but it's really good for any flowering houseplants. If you miss your plants occasionally using one of these, that helps create the jungle atmosphere. And regular watering. Don't forget them, even when you go on holidays. Make sure somebody's coming in to keep them happy. My favorite indoor plant is that huge one that's over there, the Monstera deliciosa, the Swiss cheese plant, because it's wonderful. In the jungles, it thrives, it climbs up big trees. And those leaves are so dramatic. So it's influenced everybody from fashion to furniture designers. And it's really easy to look after. So that's the one I'd recommend. An underrated plant that deserves more love is probably any of the cacti family. I think they're absolutely wonderful. One of the most important things with these plants is they really get children into gardening, and they're so easy to look after. So you put this on a very bright sunny window ledge, it will thrive. And when plants like these come into flower, they're amazing. The most unexpected bright blossoms emerge from these kind of foreboding stems. So cacti would be my underrated plant, which we should grow much more of. The plant trends, the indoor plant trends that excite me at the moment is people are really getting into not only having pot plants like this, but whole landscapes and vertical gardens, growing indoor plants on walls, whether it's in your home, in your office, or seeing them in a shopping centre or hotel. That's all very exciting for me. So coming into spring, it's time to get gardening outside, and no better or easier way of doing that than with seeds. So we have this collection that I've chosen from the Unwoods Seeds range, and you can have cottage gardens. Just clear a bit of soil, take away turf or whatever it is, sprinkle the seed. 12 weeks later, you'll have a full flowering meadow, or grow your own fruit and veg. It couldn't be easier. It's great fun. So make sure to visit the PTSB Ideal Home Show this spring. It's on from April the 11th to the 13th, and I'll be at the Chef's Live Theatre with Don Stores sharing my gardening tips.